You ever stand in a place and just feel the weight of history hit you like a wave? Arlington isn't just a cemetery, it's a reminder, a loud, sacred one. And JD Vance nailed that feeling right from the start.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President JD Vance.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to that incredible choir and band, and thanks to General Kane and Secretary Hegseth for your powerful words. Thank you, most importantly, for everything that you do for our nation's war fighters and for those who have given their lives to this country. We remember you today, and certainly to our Gold Star families. We're so thrilled and so grateful to have you with us in attendance. This is a sacred place, an eternal resting spot for our nation's sons and daughters. We gather in solemn commemoration of their sacrifice and the sacrifice made by all those who gave up their lives in service to our beloved country. In 1915, President Woodrow Wilson laid the cornerstone of the memorial amphitheater we gather in today. Now, buried within it was a copper box which contained mementos of profound significance to the amphitheater's designers and to our entire country. There were four things: an American flag, a Bible, a copy of our Declaration of Independence, and a copy of the U.S. Constitution. And the objects they chose to dedicate to posterity, those Americans remind us of the values we hold timeless and dear as a nation and as a people. But those values didn't spring from any stonework or time capsule. They were lived out day after day by the people buried in this hallowed cemetery.
I really respect how JD Vance opened this speech. The way he talked about Arlington as a sacred place and honored not just the soldiers, but their families. That hit hard. This isn't just about looking back, it's about remembering why these men and women gave everything. And honestly, calling out that we're standing on the final resting place of people who gave up their futures for us, it's something we all need to pause and think about more. It's not just patriotic talk, it's real. And I'm glad someone in leadership still knows how to say it that way.
Each life honored here in Arlington was once full of the ordinary moments and quiet dreams, of early sunrises, of good days and bad days, of celebrations and disappointments. They stood not apart from us, but among us, ordinary men and women who chose to shoulder an impossible burden. And when we consider what they gave to us, it's common, of course, to focus on their deaths, on the courage to give in that moment what very few are willing or able to sacrifice. But the real tragedy of the loss is not in a single moment of suffering, as our Gold Star families know well, but in all the future moments they and their families lost. Every moment between their sacrifice on the battlefield and what would have been a natural death. Because we know they sacrificed not just their physical life, they sacrificed the moments that make that life worthwhile. They sacrificed a child's embrace. They sacrificed walking their daughter down the aisle, of seeing their husband or wife after a big promotion, of sharing a meal with the family at Thanksgiving. For my fellow Americans, especially those watching on television, consider the sum of all the moments that make a good life. And now appreciate that countless strangers, people most of you never met, they gave up those moments in their own life so that we could enjoy them in ours. And that is what Memorial Day is all about.
This part of the speech really got to me. JD Vance talked about what the fallen really gave up, not just their lives, but the birthdays, the weddings, the hugs, the laughs, those small everyday moments that make a life. And the way he said it, so we could enjoy them in ours. Man, that's powerful. That kind of sacrifice deserves more than just a long weekend and some sales at the mall. It deserves reflection, respect. I 100% agree with him. Memorial Day is about all those lost moments, and we owe it to these heroes to not forget that.
I once heard a Marine Corps colonel that I served with. He said this in 2005, not long after a very tough deployment to Iraq. He said this about his fallen men, that they were the best looking, they were the kindest, they were the smartest, they were the most devoted. They were the very best of us. To them, we owe everything. And today, in the peace they bequeathed us, we honor them. As the Book of Wisdom tells us, but the righteous one, though he die early, shall be at rest. For the age that is honorable comes not with the passing of time, nor can it be measured in terms of years. They laid down their lives for Americans they would never meet, for generations yet unborn, for a nation that would not exist absent their incredible courage. Now, we know their families in particular have given so much. And in particular, I want to speak to the Gold Star families, to the families who have lost a son, a daughter, a husband, or a wife, to every child here who misses your dad or your mom. Know that your loved one to us is a hero. And though we cannot know your pain, please know that I speak for the entire nation when I say that we are grateful to them and to you for a debt none of us can possibly repay. Now, all of us will honor the fallen and their families in our own way, but allow me to suggest two ways of honoring their sacrifice, two ways that I try to honor their sacrifice every day. First, we ought to commit ourselves and expect from our leaders to treat the lives of our troops as the most precious resource. The very best way. The very best way to honor the fallen is to only ask the next generation to make the ultimate sacrifice when they absolutely must. We must be cautious in sending our people to war. The second way that I try to honor the fallen is to commit ourselves to being worthy of their sacrifice. If you're a husband, be the best husband you can be. If you're a mom, be the best mom that you can be. If you're a citizen, be the very best citizen that you can be. Because together, let us build a better country, a more perfect union, and strive to be the kind of nation worthy of the sacrifice of the people that we honor today.
Here's a truth we don't talk about enough. Being grateful for sacrifice isn't enough. We've got to live like we deserve it. This last part really brought it all together. JD Vance said we should honor our fallen by living lives worthy of their sacrifice. Be a better spouse, a better parent, a better citizen. That's not just feel-good talk, that's a real challenge. And I love that he put it on all of us, not just politicians or the military. Us. If someone gave their life so we could have ours, then yeah, we owe it to them to make this country better. I think that's what Memorial Day is all about. Not just remembering them, but becoming better because of them.
On this Memorial Day, let us remember that we have been given a great gift, often by people none of us ever met. Let us cherish that gift and make ourselves worthy of it. May God bless those who gave that gift, and may He bless the country they sacrificed for. Thank you.
JD Vance's speech wasn't just patriotic. It was personal, powerful, and real. In a time when so much feels divided, his words reminded us what truly unites us: sacrifice, honor, and responsibility to be worthy of the freedom we've been given. That's the kind of message this country needs to hear.